Hi, so we got engaged and we want to tell the story of this little journey we've been on.
We met August 29th last year at a beach party for our Lifeline young adults group.
At church.
At church. And sporadically had little conversations here and there throughout
Fall.
throughout fall. Yeah.
No interest really in each other romantically, just that we thought
We were intrigued by each other,
there was an intrigue.
but really great friends.
Yeah, and it wasn't like an urgency to hurry up and rush into anything. It was just like we always just saw each other at church, honestly, and nothing outside of church. It was always a church event. No texting, none of that.
Yeah. And then finally we had a chilly night outside of church, socially with friends over at the Miller's house, and that was the first time we hung out.
Yep, so that
Outside.
was November last year.
Yep.
And we just had a great time. And
I knew then at that chilly night that there was something different there about Alicia, and that I wanted to get to know her better on a social and personal level.
so I made chili, and he got to take it home and eat it. And that's actually how he asked me for my phone number.
The next day was brutally cold after chili night, and I had some of her extra chili, and so I heated up her chili at work, and it just hit the spot on a cold day, and so I sent her a direct message on Instagram telling her how much I loved her chili and that it hit the spot, and went into a long conversation back and forth, and then at the end, that's how I asked for her number.
Yep.
Creative and cleverly, I might add.
Yes, so we have talked every day since.
Yep.
But once we got numbers exchanged, and that's when the
ball
texting
rolling.
season began for us. We started texting. It obviously grew into feelings for each other. Or much more interest. And then we went through Thanksgiving and had a great Thanksgiving together as friends, but a little bit more than friends, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then Christmas again. We still hadn't been on our first date. And then Grant decided to ask me out.
Yeah.
And we ended up going to a Mexican restaurant for our first date because I love Mexican. And
I
you
love Mexican.
And we went on our first date on the 30th of December. And then...
That was vlogged.
Yep. It is vlogged, if you look it up. And then we had New Year's Eve together. Rang the new year in together with our best friends. And that was just amazing. And then it really just, unraveled from there.
Quickly.
Completely unraveled into a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
We started dating, obviously, and it was amazing and beautiful, and never any kind of questioning this or deciding if this was right. It just was a peace.
Genuine, real, calming.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then I believe that we both loved each other before we actually said we loved each other, which was cool.
Totally.
And I was told by all of my girlfriends that you're supposed to wait until he says it for you to say it. So I just kept honestly, as early as January, I was journaling and saying that I loved him. And so we didn't say I love you until April.
Yep.
And that was a beautiful moment. And then in
January, I knew that I loved her. That was the first feelings I had of falling for her that I can remember, the very first moment.
Yep.
And so
then
April
we
finally said it.
Yeah. It was great. And then probably May, we started talking about marriage.
Conversations, small here and there. About
Like-
the idea and that we really wanted to and move towards that.
Yeah. I specifically remember one conversation where we were leaving the Miller's house again, and he was like, so when we get married, where do you want to live?
Oh yeah, we were driving. I remember that.
And I was like, we're getting married? No, I'm just kidding. I just answered, I was like, oh, you know, blah, 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 like explaining all the different areas that I really like in Maryland. And then the next day or the day after, I was like, so, you want to marry me?
It's like, so the other day you said something about, you know, getting married.
Right. And so then that kind of like opened up the door to marriage, but not like really serious talk or like wedding planning. It was just...
No, it was like getting on the same page or making sure we were on the same page.
Yeah, because when you're older and
Yeah.
kind of established and settling down,
You're dating
have...
for a purpose.
Yeah.
There's
so...
no beating around the bush, no, you know...
Games.
Yeah, no games.
There were never games with me and Grant, I can tell you that. So, we ain't about that game life.
No.
But anyways, so once we started talking about marriage, and then it just kind of evolved slowly. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we got a little bit excited probably July, I don't even remember, where we were like kind of planning the wedding.
We were talking about it more, and we were like, oh,
like
this
what
would be
we
cool.
would want.
This
because,
would be cool.
You know, you gotta be on the same page about like, do you want to be in a church? Do you want to be outside? Do you want a big wedding, small wedding? So we started talking about like little details like that, just to make sure we were on the same page. And honestly, like we were. Oh, we were always on the same page. So what happened next? So once we knew that we wanted to get married, I went on vacation.
Yes. Early August? Yeah, early August. She went on vacation to Florida. And so I was, when we were talking about her going on vacation, we were talking about how I was going to fill my time. And my mind immediately was like, yes, now I have time to plan stuff and do things without her around. AKA ring shopping and trying to talk to her dad and to prepare how I was going to ask her to marry me, because it was definitely in my mind already. And planning and ring shopping and all of that fun stuff.
Yep. So essentially, he basically planned it to be the 1-year anniversary of us meeting on the same beach where we met.
Jackie had sent Alicia a text and asked her if we wanted to come over for dinner on that night. And so we're sitting on the couch watching TV, and she was just like, hey, the Millers asked us over for dinner on this day. And I was like, what day is that? Oh yeah, I'm free. Yeah, totally. So I tried to play it off. But anyways.
So it was all a secret plan, honestly. And people asked me, like, did I know? Like, was it a surprise? I didn't know that Grant was going to propose on the day that he did. I did know Grant was going to propose and we were going to get engaged and get married. That is true because we had conversations about that, but did I know how he was going to do it? No.
When and how and where, she didn't know.
I had no idea. But I was so thankful for how he did it, when he did it, why he did it, all of that, because if I could have done it myself, I would have planned it the same way he did, because that's how well he knows me, where it was our 1-year anniversary of knowing each other on the beach, just the two of us, no cameras except for me vlogging. It was private and special and just beautiful. I couldn't have asked for a better proposal. And you know, coming back to our friend's house and just having that moment where it wasn't like a lot of people, and I, you know, spent the rest of the night calling and texting everybody I know and telling them that we're engaged and stuff. It's exactly what I would want. So that was beautiful. And then right now we are in the middle of wedding planning because we want to have a short engagement because we're ready to get married. That is the whole point of being asked to marry you, is to be like yes and then do it.
We knew that we wanted to get married and we didn't really want to wait, so we didn't see the point in the long engagement and we were just ready.
We still don't see a point in the long engagement.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our story.
Yeah.
And it is definitely just like one of those things where you can't make it up, you can't write it yourself, and you can't even imagine the kind of blessings that you can have when you're obedient. And that's exactly where Grant and I have always been from the very beginning, was that there were moments in our lives before we met that we had to surrender and be obedient. And I know that sounds like so like rule-y and like, what did you do? Like, it wasn't that. It was a huge heart transformation for both of us, and we actually went through it at the same time. And that's just the coolest thing, because like God brought Grant here to Maryland. It was completely his plan, his orchestrating, and we'll have to tell him how he got to Maryland another time. But yeah, it's just a beautiful little story, and we are excited to get married. We're getting married this year, and we're ready to start this journey. I mean, continue this journey.
Yes.
And we're just so thankful to everyone who loves us and everybody who shares how happy they are for us, because that's so important to us. And when you do that, it means the world to me and to Grant, because
The support has been overwhelming. Actually.
Yeah,
It's
and
been amazing.
it's because like we know that this is God doing and God's blessing, and we just get to be a part of it. And so when you're happy for us, that means that God gets the glory, and that's all we want. We definitely get to benefit from this blessing because we love each other so much, but I'm just so excited for what God's gonna do. So it's a beautiful love story, and we're so thankful we get to share it with you. And that's it.
Yep. Show them the ring.
Oh yeah, the ring. That's the ring. I don't know if it's blurry. He picked this out all by himself. No help from Alicia. So, if you have questions, let me know, because I'll get into more detail in the comments about if you have other questions. But essentially, that's it. Okay.
Bye.
Give me a kiss.